What's up, subscriber? I Hack here as always. So this is basically what I do when I don't have an internet connection. I play throwback games from the PSP era. Not only the PSP, but other emulators as well, such as Drastic, so I can play DS games like Castlevania, Pokemon, and I use EPSXE to play some other old PS1 games like Resident Evil, Final Fantasy 7 and 9, and some other old games. I don't think people understand how great emulators are. Only thing you need is a USB controller, and you get one of those for like 20-30 bucks, and an OTG cable for like $7, I believe. And with those two things, you basically have a whole new library of games to play with. Honestly, even though Android and iOS, the mobile market is more recent, I'm not sure if they can compare to the PSP days. Android and iOS came during the time of everyone always being connected and online, and companies took advantage of that. Well, in the beginning it wasn't like that. They had games you can play offline. It didn't require you to pay so much stuff, but now it's just full of in-app purchases and pay-to-win games. You couldn't do that back when the PSP was around. You couldn't do that back when the PSP was around. You had to have 4 games that stood on its own. PSP was probably the last great mobile gaming console. Although I hope the Nintendo NX is actually good. I have hopes on that. Since Nvidia probably isn't making another tablet, so I might go to Nintendo NX. I'll still keep my show tablet, but I kind of want something to try something different. The PSP had awesome exclusives, and graphics were decent too. Right now I'm playing Final Fantasy Type-0. I know action RPG get a bit of hate from the original Final Fantasy fans, but I actually like these. Final Fantasy 7 Crisis Core, gameplay wise, was great. I still love turn-based games as well, but action game can be just as good. I tried playing this game back when it first came out in Japan, when I had the PSP, but it was only available in Japan. I mean, it was only available in Japanese, and I don't know Japanese, and there's a somewhat steep learning curve, so that made it very hard. I made a fool of myself trying to play the game. There was some help online, but it really killed the gaming experience, and plot-wise, I had no idea what was going on. So for a few years, the English patch came out, but by then my PSP had broke, and I moved on to iOS. So I was out of luck then, but now I can actually play it. I went to my friend's house and downloaded the English patch version, and that's what I've been doing. Playing PSP games and the free offline Android games while my internet's out. But I have to say the graphics in this game is great. I understand it's the settings, but how come there's hardly any native games that look this good on Android? Or even run half as smooth. Sure, there are a few shows exclusive, and that's probably look better. Like for example, Half-Life 2 ports, which look awesome. But generally speaking, current mobile games don't look half as good or run or half as entertaining. I'm telling you guys, if your device can run PPSSPP decently, I hate saying that name, but yeah, if it can run emulators decently just by controlling OTG cable, and you're open to more than just what games are made for Android or iOS, you get the PS1 library, the Nintendo 64 library, the PSP library, the DS library, Game Boy. It's just an experience you shouldn't be missing out on. Well, back to what I'm playing. You're probably noticing a lot of my characters dying. Well, that's because I'm still getting a feel of all the characters. These bosses allow me to get a good feel of all the characters because they are basically destroying all of them. And I have to keep switching and staying on my toes before all the enemies were really easy. I never stayed in my comfort zone, which is Ace, the guys with the cards. After losing to this boss about 20 or 30 times, I got a better feel of different characters, because once one character dies, you call in another. You can have at most 3 characters on the field, and range is the key for this boss. The reason why range is the key is because this freaking monster is too lazy to attack. All he does is call out other monsters to fight for him while he hides, and he just lays there and teleports from one spot to another. If you decide to get in close, he got this radius attack that not only kills you in one shot, but can stun you as well if you're staying on the edge of it. So I have Ace. His main attacks are ranged, throwing these cards. You have to be evasive because these monsters can kill you in a single strike. And it doesn't help that there is such a massive level difference between my characters and these monsters. We're like level 10 to 13, while the monsters are like level 22 to 24. But I like a challenge. Besides Ace, I have Karta. She's the girl with the purple pistol. King, the guy with the dual pistols. Some other guys who shoot arrows. I think Trey is his name. So yeah, these guys would be the key for me to beat the first boss. It turns out this evening the boss are supposed to be fighting for the quest I've got. Only thing I know is that the monster is at the end of the cave. Not supposed to get this item called Beautiful Fur from them, but it turns out there is 2 ends of the cave, and it's the other monster who have it. And luckily that monster is a lot less harder. The game would be so much easier if there was a way to hot switch the potions. Maybe there is, and I just don't know it yet. You can't pause the game and use potions either. You hit the start, and the freaking monsters are still fighting. It's frustrating, but it's part of the challenge, I guess. So now I have to go through the other side of the cave and face the other boss. I can actually use close range attacks for this guy, although I still prefer range attacks. I find it easier to use when the enemy is attacking, and I can dodge more easily as well. When you're using close range fighters, they start doing all these combos, and it's hard to stop them midway. So that's why I prefer range attacks. I had a massive collection of these old school games on my 1 terabyte solid state hard drive. This hard drive I got off eBay. It was refurbished. I forgot the price, but it was a great deal. So I used this to back up my games and save data. About 4 months later, I did one last backup because I had to format my micro SD card inside my tablet. So I formatted the SD card and went back to get my games and save data from the hard drive. And it wouldn't work. Seriously, I had unreleased YouTube videos on there, overlays, gameplays, Coco Ops clips, tutorials, movies, and music, and just so much stuff. It's all gone. So that's kind of why I left the first time off YouTube. It was just so much stuff I lost. So tip number 1 is don't buy storage devices off eBay. And tip number 2 is if it's something you spend hours on and it cannot be replaced, like 80 hours worth of gameplay and progress, use cloud storage and a local backup. Oh crap. I'm on my last character and she moves so freaking slow. I'll probably use a save state to get back to the beginning. That's what I love about the simulator. If I was playing this native on the PSP, I honestly probably would have killed myself after dying a few times and have to make the walk all the way back to the cave from the nearest village only to die again. It would be just too time consuming. Well, these guys seem to be the one with the beautiful fur, so that's the reason why I'm here. So that's the reason why I'm in the cave in the first place. I kind of hope I will find the cure for that girl's boyfriend in here, but I might come back later if she's still in here and help her out. Alright guys, that's just a glimpse of my life when my internet is out. I read as well, but who actually want to hear about me reading? But yeah, invest in a controller, an OTG cable, or even a Bluetooth controller. Trust me, you don't want to be missing out on these experiences. If there's a PSP game or any other emulator you want me to try out, just let me know. And if I have some interest in it, I might play and upload. Well, that's it guys. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section, and I will see you guys next time.